Good morning. Um, hey, do you want to say anything first, Christy, to set it off here?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Kim is with us today, and we're excited about that. She has got some visions and some excitement that she's going to share with us moving forward into 2015 about client support and what that's going to look like. And so if any of you are feeling any kind of burnout or just want to maybe think about it being easier and more effective for client support, this is definitely going to be something you want to hear. So I'm excited for Kim to be here. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. And she's in Portland. She's getting ready to do the training with Dr. A. And so I appreciate you taking your time.
You bet. Thanks for being on, you guys. And yeah, like Christy said, I've been feeling like I'm on the campaign trail because I feel like I'm just pulling groups together and I want to just go eyeball to eyeball as best I can about a bit. Really, I'm calling it the new world. So the new world, I want to paint the picture so you hear it from me. And I also want to hear your concerns and feedback and everything. I know change, everyone naturally is resistant to, at least some degree, people are resistant to change. And so I want you to process and have time, and I want you to kind of shoot holes in what I'm going to tell you. And then, because I don't want anyone to sit here and feel like you have to agree with me or have to do something different or have to do anything, because I'm all about do what you want to do, honestly. So here we go. How many of you, and I wished I could see more of you by face, but I'll take what I get. And thank you for being on, by the way, because I know you guys are Saturday and there's lots of stuff to do. So, but how many of you, let me ask the question first. How many of you are from the last challenge? Let's go to the last challenge, Thin It to Win It. How many of you were engaged in that challenge personally as a participant for on a scale from 1 to 10, let's say 7 or higher? Just raise your hand. And it's not a judgment. It's just I want data. Okay, so 7 or higher, and the phone callers and the non-visual people I won't know. How many of you don't really like challenges? Okay, and I'm hoping you're honest. And don't feel like you can't say that. But here's what I noticed. After the Thin It to Win It, during that, it was actually one that I very much participated. It was the first time I have participated personally in a challenge and engaged, because I'm always directing everything, and it's like really hard to, do it from the participant level. But man, I'll tell you what, I was blown away by the feedback. I mean, when I really paid attention to, number one, how I felt about what I was doing, and number two, what my room people were saying and what the challenge wall was saying and what I even heard about from just out and about in different places, I was like, wow, people are getting this. People are getting this. How many of you felt like the content of the challenge was just flippin' amazing? Yeah, I mean, and again, we're always going to get better, and there's things we're going to learn every time and I think we've just gotten better. 2 years ago right now, by the way, 2 years ago right now, we had our first challenge, and it was 90 days, and it was uploading spreadsheets to your coach. That's why I asked who hates challenges, because we lost a ton of coaches about challenges during these spreadsheet days. How many of you were around then? Yeah, it was like, and also we learned that 90 days is horrendously long. It's like, oh my gosh. Then a year ago right now, we did our first 28-day challenge, and that was magical. But it was still uploading spreadsheets. So we dropped coaches all along the way, and they said, I'll never do another challenge, because the spreadsheet thing was horrid. And we were collecting PayPal, and I had to pay out all the prizes, and that was a year ago right now. So we've come a long way, baby. And so the last 2 challenges that we've done with the challenge wall and the content and people being engaged to come, incentivized to come do their points on the challenge wall. That's just been magical. And then when I saw the feedback, it's like, I haven't seen this much excitement about health at all in our ranks, in the client world. In fact, I see just the opposite. I've been, around for like 7.5 years. I've been out of client acquisition mode for a couple years too, though. So I don't have a huge amount of clients that I take care of. So I'm just really liking feedback from in the trenches where people are. And I can tell you, I've seen just the opposite. I know you guys posture the books and maybe even the workbook and maybe the whole packet of the Habits of Health. But how many of you find that probably less than 50% of the clients that you get started like that actually even open the book or do anything in the book? How many of you have dismal numbers, like less than 50%? Yeah. How many of you, thank you for raising your hands too, how many of you feel like that is a demoralizing thing for you? Like trying to get people to do something that you know they're going to need, but they don't get it. How many of you does that affect, like, oh my gosh, they're not doing it? Like, how many of you does it affect you personally as a coach? Okay, well, that's good. I think it does, though. I do. If your clients even, okay, there's two ifs. If you are even calling your clients regularly, which I won't ask to raise your hand if you're not, but I already know the percentage is it's shocking when people haven't been honest with me that there's a lot of that not going on, even though you know you should, and I know, but here's what I hear. I don't have anything else to give them. Like, I don't know they don't answer. How many of your clients don't answer your calls anyway, right? If you do call, probably less than 50% answer your call that you really get to talk to. And then that demoralizes you because it's like, well, what's the use? I'm not talking to them anyway. And they're not reading their book or they're not getting it. And so from a client standpoint, from a participant standpoint, if they engage, there's the critical caveat there. If they engage, that experience that they have in this fun, gamified, I got to get my points. In the process, I'm watching and listening and hearing. That experience is far better. Exponentially better than what the best health coach could provide to that client on their own. That's my assertion. Because you cannot get them to read their book, and even if they read it, they're not getting it. And when they come to the challenge in the motivation of excitement and fun, all your learning centers, Alicia, you could confirm all this, but when you come at learning from I'm incentivized to come do it and I want to come do it, that's a completely different impact on your brain than if you come to it from, oh my gosh, I got to read this. She's going to be calling me, asking me if I did, I better go do something, because you know what I mean? Like that, it's just completely different. So from a client standpoint, this modality of the game and the fun and the incentive and the that is a no-brainer. From the coach standpoint, again, because I feel like like the data I've gathered and the information I've gotten from all my travels and talking to coaches is that it wears you out. It wears you out to try to get them to do stuff, and it wears you out to even sometimes try to get them to even talk to you or engage with you on a regular basis. And I had one coach say, and many have confirmed, I just don't have anything more to help them with. Like I have no more tools. Like I'm out, like I can't make them do anything. I can't help them. And if you start struggling in your own program, it's over, because you're really never going to call them, or you're not really going to have anything to help them with because you're still trying to get it yourself. So from a coach standpoint, if you had a place where your clients could go and have fun and get it easier and better, if we could impact the client at the client level, everything changes for us. Everything is a new world. And then because there's another factor of what we train is connections, right? So I've said for years, client acquisition and client support, you master those two things, you can write your own check. Well, connections is the part of the client acquisition process. So what if in this new world that I'm talking about, actually we are launching the new world as of March with a pilot group. And that's why I'm on the campaign trail, because I want you guys to hear from me the vision of what I'm talking about. I want you to talk to me about your concerns, and I want you to start thinking about it even during this challenge, because it will impact how you even function and think and posture this challenge. What if, well, let me go back to one thing. Another thing that wears coaches out in challenges, that's why I asked who isn't a fan of challenges, is the hoo-ha-ness of it. Like like, it's coming. And, a new theme and a new launch document and a new Facebook event and a new, 3 to 4 times a year. It's like this huge event that distracts us from really what we do. It's a distraction in many ways. Lots of people see great results from it, but it's not what we do. So it's like I got to do what we do and do this. Like there's just like I'm doing even more, right? Idea. I'm working harder. So what hit me was, why are the protocol that we use for client support now? We set up our client, we call them, their pre-start call, we call them their first few days, we check in with them once a week, we're there for them, we put them in our client Facebook group. But what if what we do with that client is our client support, kind of like what we wanted our Facebook groups to be, but it doesn't have all the factors that make it work. What if what we do is put people into a structure, a format of, it's gamified. It's like we roll. I'm going to use the word challenge. I just don't like that word because of all the stuff it brings up for some of you, right? But what if that was just what we did, and we put people in the next round is starting, and month after month, round 1 ends. Here's what I know about the factors that make the challenge idea work in terms of engaging people. There has to be a hard start. It has to be starting. Get them off the dime. That's your talking point. Hopefully you guys are all seeing that. Like, you call and say, hey, there's a cool thing starting. You wanted me to let you know it's coming. Inactive clients. Hey, we got this cool thing starting. What I like about the starting date, the hard start, is that it gets people off the dime. It gives you a reason to follow back up in a timely manner because you've got something else to tell them that's coming, that's starting. It's a hard start. And so like we do now, we have a little window before they can start enrolling, and we have a little window after. But my vision would be 1 month, or basically 4 weeks, because you're going to start the first Monday of every month. And then we're going to have a hard stop. Like that day, for like the 10th of a month, it's over. You can't join this round. And then we just accumulate clients like we do, and we are talking and starting them like we do, and we have their pre-start call in their first few days. But we're posturing from we're posturing from the getting the word out process, the AKA collecting yeses, like from that initial conversation with someone. Your offering has changed a little bit, because you aren't just the connections process, like what we teach is, hey, can I update you occasionally on how things are going? And you put them in a connections group, and every couple of weeks you send a before and after email, just a quick connections email. Connections emails are better than nothing, but they're also very subpar, very sub-effective. I don't know, maybe some of you are getting slammed with people joining from connections emails. But as time goes on, that becomes less and less results come from that. But what if our offering, when we talk to anybody and everybody, is, hey, you know what? There's something cool starting. There's something cool happening that's just coming. Like if you are in a closed period of the month where the round is already closed, it's okay. You're still going to be building to the next open date where this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. And it's amazing. You're going to love it. And it's where we get our head, you're going to reflect it in the interested script about what our support piece looks like and what our education piece looks like. And it's not going to be, well, I'm going to get you a book and a workbook that you're never really going to open. And you're actually going to hate me maybe every time you see it on your shelf because you're wondering, why did I get that again? And so and maybe some of you have great results with the book and the workbook. And I just not team-wide, company-wide, I have not seen that data at all. Like I've seen just the opposite. So why are we bogging people down with that when people want a Candy Crush experience? You know what I'm saying? Like they are in that mode. Lots of people are doing it. My husband, okay, there's another, sorry, let me go to one more thing. A hard start and a hard stop and a short period of time that you have to accomplish these certain things. And then that round is over and you can run right into the next round, or you can, take a month off, whatever you want to do. But that is how that's our go-to premium protocol for client support. Because why? It's flipping amazing and effective. And the coach is not getting burned out trying to drag their client, around to get them to get it. The second thing that makes it work are the incentives, okay, maybe the pot of money has something to do with it, but badges and bells and whistles, and I get smiley faces. Look at how hard some of you work to get your smiley face at the end of the month. Christy, that hit me the other day in a talk I had, because I'm like, you know what? That's probably why people like their smiley face in the back office when they hit ED. It's like, yeah, I can get my smiley face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because I'll tell you what, Joe Fisk, who hates Facebook, if you've asked him to be your friend and he hasn't accepted yet, don't take it personal. He's like 87 friend requests. And I just saw that the other day when I went in there. And I go, honey, all these people are asking to be your friend. I don't want to be friends. I don't even want to be on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I go, okay. And he really hates the computer. He only goes to like YouTube to look how to fix something. But he tells me the other day as he's hearing me on one of these calls, and he's like, you know what? You're right. He goes, I have a puzzle app on my phone. And he goes, it hooked me because I did a puzzle. It was like a puzzle a day, just a brainless, mindless thing. He likes to go in the hot tub every morning and he will have like his quiet time. But he goes, yeah, it hooked me because I did this puzzle. And then it goes, it started saying things like, you have 15 more days and you'll get the 30-day badge, like that kind of thing. And he goes, it got me. And I made sure I got my puzzle done every day. So he experienced what I was talking about, which completely surprised me. So people like that, and it's engaging and it's quick and it's easy. And now with the app, now that we have apps for these, both kinds of phones have apps, it's going to be a huge game changer for people because they can just quickly do it. They're getting it in quick little doses of, And so incentives are critical. Whether it's a money incentive or not, I don't know. And whether it's a $20 buy-in every month, I don't know. I'm going to sneeze. Thank you. And those are things yet to be decided. I just know that we have to have something that makes them have to come and get their points and check in and log in and quickly. And like I said, it's Candy Crush for health. It's like it's a game, and it impacts their health. And so, let me think. I know I've left a lot of holes for you. Well, let me just open it up. You guys ask the questions because I'm still kind of foggy in my mind here about what I haven't told you. Ask me questions for clarity. This is where you play.
Okay, Kim, I have a question. So how does this not get old? Like, I feel like a talking point for me is, we open up these challenges 3 times a year and people get excited about it. Old clients, inactive clients, not old, but inactive clients, people who maybe are struggling a little bit with the program. I mean, they are all over. Yes, a challenge. Oh my gosh. And I'm wondering if like doing this every single month is like, what's the attraction now to something fun? I mean, I feel like fun can get, I'm all about fun, but fun can sometimes not be fun anymore after it happens every single month.
Right. So what is fun about what they're doing now?
Well, and I mean, I guess maybe my experience is a little bit different. Like, I don't keep calling and calling and calling if people are not answering the phone. And I don't rely on reading assignments. I usually talk about my personal experiences or an experience of a client in those conversations with my clients. I'm not like, well, did you read page 315? What did it say? Who can you tell about it? I don't really have that same experience with relying on the book and the workbook.
No, that's fine. But percentage-wise, how many clients do you talk to?
I have a real solid group that answers the phone every single week. But I would say out of all of my ordering clients, probably, I think it's every other week, I'm probably getting to at least 50 to 60% of them.
Okay, good. So you've got coaches under you, right, Kelly?
I do.
What do you think they're doing?
It's a good question. Probably not calling every single week or every other week, maybe. I'm not sure.
You're right. You're not sure. So here's my answer to your fun question. Or does it get old? So your client support Facebook groups, that's kind of that, you're going to keep doing that no matter what. And some play in there and some don't. I don't have an expectation, first of all, that everyone's going to do anything. Like, that's against the law, that it's
Right.
the percentages, there's going to be some people that go, I really don't want to do that. And I never want to do that. And so there you go. All right. Where are you with that client? You do what you do now. Posturing is 100% of any success any of you are having, by the way, or not having. I'm going to come back to answer your question even more, Kelly, but I want to just go on my posturing rant for a minute. When I hear people say, nobody is blah, 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 I can't get any blah, 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 my coaches I can't blah, 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 I'm not getting any client blah, I say, tell me about how you feel about it, because I can guarantee 100% that if those are kinds of the feelings you have about stuff, it's you and not them. There's something you are saying or not saying. There's some excitement you're lacking. Because people buy people, and that's why your story part of the whole training is so pivotal. Like, that's critical. So when you posture but it's not a hoo-ha thing. Do you know what I mean by hoo-ha? Like the hoopla about, it's starting. That wears coaches out. And it isn't because it's not what we do, it's an added thing they have to do that's different. But if what they just talk about all the time is the next round that's starting, and we incentivize people in that structure to even keep playing. Like, if they win, if they're whatever, we're going to incentivize them. Maybe we let them, in this challenge, we're accumulating 1,000 points. Winners get 1,000 points. Maybe we incentivize them by going, hey, at 5,000 points, you get the badge, you get the bronze badge. At 10,000 points, you get the, gold star badge, or hopefully by then they've rolled into being a coach. Think about the duplication process we're talking about. When someone comes out of this idea, guess what? We got coaches out of the last one that were never clients, and they were just excited about, this is what we do as a Take Shape for Life health coach. And they were like, yeah, this is awesome. I could do this. I'm going to go fill my room. And they wanted to and they were like, what? This isn't what you guys really do? What do I do between challenges? What do I do? How do I build my business? Well, we only do those a couple times a year. So yeah, we're going to have to, it's like two different things. And I'm not saying we're not doing the weekly call. If you want to call clients weekly and you're having great success, don't change that. But guess what? Your calls could be sounding and feeling very different. Some of you get worn out by your calls emotionally. I'm telling you what I'm seeing team-wide. There are superstars that aren't necessarily seeing it and aren't having those experiences, but it's not duplicatable, because right now that client experience is based on the time, the energy, the skill, the personality, the organization, the story, the everything of their coach. Do you see how that is a huge hole?
Yes, I do. Yeah, that really helped a lot.
Because you are amazing, and there are several of you amazing people like on the planet, in their company and all that. But what if we could spread the net wider, bring more people in? The connections process is going to be, hey, why don't you just come play just do your healthy habits? It's great. We're all about that. You don't have to do my complete program. You could do whatever you want, but let's just come into my room, honey, and let's start building even more relationships. Let them see who Take Shape for Life really is from behind the scenes. I mean, the responses from was like, wow, you guys are the real deal. You're not just like one of these, Body by Vi weight loss gimmick things because when you see it out on Facebook, it all looks the same, doesn't it? Like everybody else, like all the gimmicky places. It looks like one of those. They don't know. And they get in and they hear these webinars and these videos and these people like you, Kelly, your video that's in this challenge is awesome. And they're going to go, these are real people. This is the real deal. They're talking about quiet time. They're talking about sleep and stress and wow. And it's a huge connection vehicle for us. So is everyone going to do it? Nope. Like they don't do what it is now either. So but if I had to choose, if what we posture as the premium package of client support, and oh my gosh, this is flippin' amazing, that you're going to be amazed. In fact, it's going to incentivize you to come learn and experience it at a different level. Yeah, people love it. People love it. And then that's our premium package. That's our best option we offer them. For those that don't want to, okay, well, all right, you don't have to, but, so I'll check in with you once a week and here's a book you could read. Does that make sense? Like, it would not be our go-to protocol. Because why? It's just not effective. It's not effective.
I totally agree that the book is not, I mean, I don't hardly have anyone reading the book. Hardly anyone, I mean, I think that's pretty common.
Well, and to your point, let's say as a participant, I don't want to do it this given month, right? Like, let's say I try it for 2 or 3 months. How many people complain that the last one was over and they're like, wait, what do we do now? Right? They don't want them to end, especially if the content, we're going to rotate content. It's going to be fresh content. So it's going to be stuff that's different for them, but it's just ongoing. Just like, I'll tell you what, majority of like Spark people, do you know that? Do you guys know the Spark people thing? Spark people is all about this. And your little man moves on the little line in his car as he's losing weight. And David Bush, who is a global director, not on our team, but he was telling me he's been very involved in corporate wellness. And Humana, he said, Humana has gone to a complete challenge. Corporate wellness, that's how they do all corporate wellness now, is challenges. So from our client standpoint, they can engage when they want, like if they need a month off or if they're going on vacation. Some people are going to say, oh, no, I got to do it on vacation so I don't gain my weight. I mean, you're going to have both things. I need support during the holidays so I stay better. Or some are going to say, you know what, I'm going to take a couple months off. So what? It's okay, because you can always there's always another round getting ready to start that gives you a talking point to invite them to come back with. They can always come back, and you're going to have so many new people coming in that it's not going, the ones going out the other door for now are, maybe it's okay. And coaches may not want to participate, lead a room every month. That's okay. Partner with your mentor coach and create a new room that next time. People can roll their winnings over to the next month and just keep playing. I don't know. That's kind of my vision of it. But I understand that's probably my number one concern, Kelly, is Is it going to get old? Well, we won't know until we try. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things we're not going to even know what works and what doesn't until we actually get into it. We think it might get old, but what if it really doesn't? What if it really does keep at least the majority of people moving forward? So anyway, go ahead, Carrie. Did you have a question?
I guess the other question I have is if there's going to be a buy-in, if we can keep it minimal, because of sometimes you get that cost objection when you're going through your interested script and you explain and whatnot. And I haven't had very many that said, no, I just can't do it because of the cost, because after they go home and think about it and realize how much they're spending. But then if they're spending a buy-in every single month, then it's going to get more expensive for them. So that would be just one thought I had.
What if they win? You muted again. In fact, Lydia said, she goes, wow. She goes, I made $40. She goes, I doubled my money on the last one, and it's better than Vegas odds.
Well, that's true. That's true. And, I don't use a lot of the Candy Crush apps and all that kind of stuff because I don't have time to mess with them.
Exactly.
So I'm not used to that part of it. So
yeah. No, and you know what? Honestly, we might not even need money in the pot. It might not. I think there's an attraction factor for people initially with the money, like the pot's big and it's exciting. But honestly, badges and stars, people love those things. Here's what I know I'm also going to get, like what's going to tweak in the future, in probably the new world in March for sure, is I don't want so many things to have to track. I think right now, even in this one, I would have gotten rid of the food and the exercise logs. I think there's too many things for them to have to track. And if that's the case, or if they don't track every day, they can still win. It doesn't have to be I got to get every single point every single day. Mm-hmm. So there's things we're going to get better at and tweak to make it work. But I hear you. Yeah. And it may not even be a big, it might be $10, just to keep some money in the pot just for the attraction.
And you said this would be for connections too. They could jump in also. Because I know I have one gal, this is her third challenge with us. Christy and I have talked to her about being a coach. She's mentioned it a few times, but we just haven't gotten her to take that leap. But this might be something where she'll jump on board then. Yeah. So we could put connections in there as well then.
Absolutely. In fact, we had, many coaches came out of the last one that I did 3-way calls with. Christy, I posted a video in Top Gun of this challenger. I mean, she was a coach that came out of the Thin It to Win It. She wasn't never a client. And she wanted to be a coach because she was so amazed at what was going on, what we were doing. And she goes, man, I could make money doing this. Like, you guys, this is how you make money. She didn't understand that how we really get paid. So I walked her through it. She became a client right then. I go, well, you might want to do that. She loves the 5-in-1. She loves our program. She loves the whole philosophy now. And she's ready now to just fill her room. And because she loves that experience. You know what I mean? And it's duplicatable. Back to my point, she can be a brand new coach in my room or in her own room that I'm going to help her do, but she doesn't have to be a great health coach yet. That client can have all of her clients and friends can have an amazing experience without it resting solely on her ability to do it. That's the key thing right there in duplication and in effectiveness. Anyway, go ahead. Any other questions? Keep them coming.
Well, I was just going to say what Carrie made me think something like, if somebody does have a cost objection, it would be like, you know what, that's okay. I totally understand. Come do this for a month with us. Come, do you have $10 or $20 or whatever? And then they are more closely tied to you. I feel like, if they would come do that, not as a client.
Yeah.
And you still have that influence pretty
And this challenge, I'm very excited to see the data that comes out of it, because one of the biggest points they get, 40 points, is for a verbal coach connection, and the impetus is on them. They need to make the call. They need to call the room leader or the coach and just leave a message or get on a live Zoom. There's no Zoom functionality in the wall anymore. It's something that they just click, I had a verbal coach connection. And those are the two things that'll be explained what that really means. But can you imagine, some people have gone to try to get to their client support to have their clients call them, and it's a failure. I've never known anyone to set that up with their clients and make it work. You know why? There's no incentive. They don't get points for doing it. You know what? When we put the structure together, to really just think about this, I had to go, where are the high touch points? What are the behaviors we want to really encourage? And those are the things you put the highest points on, and they'll do it because they want the points, not because I'm sure they start out by just because they want the points. But then guess what? They're like, oh, I like her. Oh, that was really interesting, that 10-minute Zoom thing I was on. Wow, there's a lot of people that got, this is amazing. See, you lure them in with this, they want the points. But in the process, if you put high point value on high relationships, see, nothing changes about our philosophy of what we do. Our philosophy is building relationships. But now you've widened the net. You've gotten more people in, and now you watch them. And you watch, all you do is spin the plate in your room. You're watching to see who the players are, just like you do your Facebook group. You're watching to see, but now they're incentivized to call you. The other thing that's a game changer could be, I'm anxious to see how it plays out in this one, is the coach tip, the coach training that's going to happen in this one. The coach corner, there's going to be like a coach tip. We can train even a brand new room leader the best things to do in their room. So they don't have to come up with stuff. They don't have to be creative. They can just go, here's a post. Make sure that you're, today, why don't you call 5 of your, or, reach out to 5 of your participants and, whatever. We're going to train it as we go. Or, hey, this getting to know you questionnaire survey, AKA survey, is coming out. Here's what you're going to want to do. Getting this questionnaire, the getting to know you points, 40 points. That's a huge amount of points. We want them incentivized to fill that out and give us information about them. Is that cool? So I'm excited about those things that we're going to watch and see how they play out. Worst cases, you do what you do now. Like nothing. Did I freeze or did some of you freeze? Can you guys hear me? Shake your head. Yeah. Okay. Worst cases, and I say worst case because I'm calling a spade and saying our client support protocol right now, for the most part, some of you are flipping amazing, but for the most part, it's very subpar. Anyway, go ahead. Ask me more.
I just want to say something about when Kim first brought this to me, this idea. I had the same red light thinking that Kelly did. Like, that's going to be boring after a while. However, after talking and being brainwashed, no, just kidding. I love the fact that their points can roll over. And I think that too, and I don't know if you're going to implement this, but I suggested that when you sign up a new client, and part of their, initial getting started kit is maybe a 30-day free trial to this new world thinking challenge thing. Not challenge, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get them in there, to get them started from the get-go. And then here's something I was thinking about as you were talking. Let's say that someone has a cruise they're going to go on. Are they, so they are one of those that don't want to be a part of the challenge while they're gone. What if we have a 60-day grace period like we do with the Be Slim? And so as long as they come back within 60 days, because that would incentivize them to come back, they still get their points that they accumulated.
Yeah, I mean, all those are great. We can really do whatever we want. That's great. Yeah, we could do that. And the other thing is, when you were talking, I was thinking about, it went away.
Well, I have a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
And maybe then you'll remember.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think I have so much green light thinking So know that. And I love all the components of them being able to be plugged in on their own time, and the idea of the app and doing their phone, all of that, the webinars and the videos and the readings and stuff, because how people learn things. They're not going to go read the book. We have to read the book, teach it to them through those methods. So I love that. But I have had some people, so this, now I would want to posture it a certain way so that I wouldn't lose some people on this, because I'd want them to utilize all the assets of the plan. So I'm sure your team has already thought about this. So I'm going to ask about my perfectionist people who, when they see they can't get, all the points, they quit, because if they can't be perfect, then what? So I have had that happen. So there's that. And then, which I think starting over every 30 days might be the posturing part, but I don't know. So I haven't had time to process this as long as you one. And the other one is, I have some people, and I know Mom has had some too, that don't want to compete. They don't like the thought of competition. And so how to posture it so that they're not trying to win something. They're just reaping the benefits of gathering and being able to personally develop when it comes to all the information about health and staying on track. So,
okay. So let me go back, because I did remember, I remembered what my other thing was, and that is,
okay, I'll keep talking, and then you'll
remember. No, let me address what you said.
Off.
Let me address what you said first, and maybe it'll come back again. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. Oh, there is no team prize, by the way, so there's no competition. There's no team prize anymore. Like this one, we are not having a team prize. So there really isn't a competition. The point thing, I had about 4 or 5 people in my room last time that really got no points. Like they were just like 37 points or something. And, but I never saw them really post in the group. They were kind of like invisible. I just thought, okay, well, they just got in, which you're going to have, by the way, like you're not getting everybody. It's against the law. So it was okay. But I contacted them later, usually on Facebook chat. That's the only way they would talk to me. And they said, I said, so was this were you sorry you did it? Was it kind of a dumb experience for you? Were you just kind of like, are you sad? Like, did you feel like you got taken, or was it not what you expected? Give me kind of honest feedback. All of them said, oh my gosh, no, it was great. And I did get in and watch a few things, and I liked everything that happened, but I got busy, or, the app wasn't really functioning last time, and they just got busy. But was it worth their $20? Yes. I know what it was now. Hang on. I'm going to say it right now. If you aren't getting them the books, like you're spending $50 on that whole thing, right? Like,
right.
I would much rather them have 2 rounds, even if they had to pay both times of $20 each. I'd rather them spend their money on something that they're going to get. The Discover Your Optimal Health book now, however, I love that book. Mm-hmm. That book is a whole different kind of book, and it really is shorter and does speak more about the mind and the healthy mind part. But in terms of like getting them started with the whole books, I'm giving you full permission. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that anymore. Like it's been my drum I've beaten for 3 years, pounded it in to everybody. Get the books. It's kind of blasphemous. I still kind of catch my breath when I say it, but honestly, we're not booksellers. And I want that client to have this premium experience. So in terms of competing, yeah, I think maybe Denise said something here.
Yeah, he said that they're competing with themselves.
Yeah.
I just am trying, that might be something for us to figure out how, or as a team have a way to posture it so that we're not targeting a certain group, but we're targeting all of those types of folks, because like you said, I think that everything in the book is so important that they know, but oftentimes I'm the one that is teaching it to them, not them reading it out of the book. And then I'll tell them where it's at, and then they'll know they have it. But, I experienced that. I work in education. They don't read the damn book,
Right. And I also
teach it to them. So
exactly. And I also know words don't teach.
Right.
So you can talk all you want to them about your story, but when they get in there from, like what I said, a motivation point, like that motivation to get it is a huge piece of their ahas that they end up getting. All right, I'm reading. The Optimal Health book is an audio book about
Right.
6. Okay, good. Yeah.
Is an audio?
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, Discover Your Optimal Health is an audio book, which, thank you, Mary. That's a really good point. Yep. So, okay, I'm trying to think if there's any other thing I have left out that's
The
really.
perfectionist was the other one. Have you guys talked about the perfectionist? The folks that if I can't get all the points, then now I've screwed myself up and I'm out.
Well, we design it so it's not. They only have to get 60% of the points.
Okay.
So, like the total points possible
Are they
is
getting
one
extra
thing, huh?
Then get extra credit.
Well, no, seriously, the 1,000 point, we made it so 1,000 points in this one to win is only 60% of the entire pot possible. So they can be perfectly imperfect.
And one of my coaches is one of those perfectionist people, and that's been in the past one. And this one, she was really excited about it. So I think that might have been one of the reasons. And then the other one with the app and being able to do it at night,
Right.
whenever.
Yeah, so let's say you have someone that hates the exercise log or the food log or whatever. They never have to do it, and they can win.
Okay.
Just, that kind of thing is fine. So, okay, any other questions or holes in the, yeah.
Has one?
Kim.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to share an experience I had that was real positive on the last challenge. Was after the challenge was over, there were probably half of the people were still wanting to communicate together.
Yeah.
And they were like, how can we keep talking together? Because they kind of came together as a team and they got to know each other in the room.
Yep.
So I didn't know what to do. So I just created a little group and I called it T-Butt Connection. And those people that were in the last challenge together were in this room together because they wanted to just talk together.
Yep.
So this is going to be really neat having this keep going because they missed that challenge.
Yep. That's a common story. Yeah, common story. So we are still going to focus on relationships, but we're going to bring them in with something that incentivizes them. And then we're going to just keep, training better. Here's the things I see. We need to language our Take Shape for Life offering in that sweet spot where we're not pushy or salesy about it to that participant, but yet we are bearing our testimony about how amazing it is. We're telling right? So we want them to know, because my guess is 99% of people that join a weight loss challenge, even though we call it a health challenge, which it really is, but the attraction is the weight loss. It's like all of us, we all started a diet, right? So those people, their primary interest, and even joining a gym, their primary interest is in losing weight. And so when we can influence them without it being a salesy thing or a pitchy thing, and they can come when they're ready, just like connections do. But we need to get really better at languaging our offering in a way that, anyway, and those are just things I'm thinking about. But here's the plan moving forward. So I want you to put new eyes on for this challenge with the new world in mind. The new world's going to start March 2nd. That's our plan. I have no idea how that's going to happen right now. And this is how I roll. I create it here. I go say why I want it and get passion behind it. Then I go, you know what? The how always shows up. So I'm not doing anything about the how, but I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there that March 2nd. So I wanted everyone to start hearing about it now, number one, so they could put new eyes into this challenge. And then I also, kaboom. I also wanted, I want to start training to it. See, it's going to be a tweak in our 3T calls. By the way, thank those of you who are leading those and sending your coaches and posturing, putting horsepower into that program. It's amazing. That's how we're going to turn this ship. That's how we have to impact. I wanted to impact you guys after my top leaders came. You're the next tier, and then it's going to just start funneling out. In fact, I have to do a 3T training today for this week, and I'm like, okay, this is a new world. I got to start thinking in terms of new world stuff pretty soon. because it's going to start being reflected in our interested script. I've gotten a lot of data from what people are already doing that it's effective in their interested script. And then our offering has changed. It's expanded. Hasn't changed really. It's just expanded. The offering is bigger now. You have more talking points. You have more reasons to tell your story and get people, make the offering. Your offering has changed. And I'm excited about that, but it's all going to be reflected. And I'm hoping we're going to start training to it probably early February, because we got to be ready to roll. And the team event in Salt Lake, I'm hoping all of you are coming. I hear you guys are just blowing it out of the park. Christy's like, okay, Christy says to me at the beginning when I first announced the team event, she goes, well, it's going to cost a lot of money for Wichita. So, all right. You guys are probably percentage-wise, other than the people that live there, you guys probably win for having the best ratio of people coming. Like, honestly, I am impressed.
Awesome.
And I don't mean just Wichita. I mean the Bruin team. You guys are represented well. Look at her. She's yelling something, but I can't hear.
She's saying,
That's because
thank you.
Thank you.
That's because we usher it by crying about it, and then people are like, well, it must be really passionate and important, so we're going.
See? People buy people. People buy people. That's why you got a good representation, because you have some great stories about the past team events. So, but it's going to roll. We're going to be already open, is my anticipation, because it's going to be March 2nd, which is the Monday after the Saturday event, right? That we're done. So we got a lot of stuff to do, and whatever feedback or input you have for me right now I'm in the middle of uploading all the content for the challenge that's supposed to launch Monday. So it's crazy time right now, but I'm highly inspired because I feel like it breathes life into you. I feel like it's breathing life into the team about, okay, let me breathe. Let me enjoy this again, because it's not going to rest all on me to make sure this client gets it. And all I need to do is lead them to the water, and then work on just myself. I'm still working on myself, right? Like, you guys are still getting it yourself on many levels. I want you to continue to do that. Play with the teams you're in. Be fully engaged in this challenge, by the way. Set the goal for yourself to participate as if you were a client, and see it through those eyes, because that's going to be the new world. Is going to be, I want you to have your testimony of this process, because they're not going to do it if you're half-assed about it. Yes, I just said the word ass. I just swore. That's all I'm going to say, though, because I want you to be excited about it. If you want to be. If you don't want to be, I'm all about you doing what you want. So I don't want you to have to feel like you have to, but it is breathing life into the team, and I'm excited about that. So any other last minute? I got another one starting in 2 minutes on another line. So I guess I can't really even take any more of your questions, because I got to go potty between. So, all right. Hey, the recording, Christy, don't let this go out, you guys, to low-level coaches just yet. Like, only put it for EDs, private message the playback if there's EDs, you know what I mean, that weren't on. But I don't really want it out right now in this format to beginner coaches or whatever before we figure out what we're doing. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope that was helpful, you guys. So thanks for being on. I appreciate it. And I'm excited. I really am. So love you all.